Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Peter Dislike. I don't know. Which one do you guys prefer? The Peter Dislike, or should it be Peter Dislike? Anyway, Little Caesars Pizza says bismuth gang. I'm not really doing the bismuth all that much lately. I got injured a couple of times, and I realized that it was a very lonely activity. Now, unfortunately, I work at a tutoring center, and I have a lot of clients who are just really, really privileged, and they seem to think that people can do whatever they want, right? So one of my students, he's in eighth grade, and he laughs at me for my two big hobbies, right? The bismuth art and the computer games, and they're very important to my career. And he says you should go play a sport. You should do something else. I would love to, but the reality is that I need my career, right? And unfortunately, he's 13. He probably never has to work a day in his life if he doesn't want to. That's his family background. And so I just have to answer, yeah, I'll think about it. In the back of my mind is the answer is I wish I could do that, right? But my mouth says I have to. I'll think about it, and it just causes a lot of conflict, right? And but this past week, I'm so proud of one thing I did though. Yesterday at the learning center, I had an hour in between two students, and I wanted to go take a walk. And in the past, my boss was very talkative. And I told him, I really should be getting some exercise. Why don't we talk some other time? And I walked out of there, and to my surprise, my boss didn't chase me out or anything. He didn't give me grief about it. In fact, when I came back, he asked me how my walk was. Now, I had a problem with uh, maybe an instrument instead of sports. Seems more passive. Well, yeah, I wish. I wish. There are a lot of things I wish I could be doing with my time. Trust me, I love bismuth, but not 7 hours a day after I get out of the tutoring center, right? Anyway, getting back to the New Year resolution, one of my resolutions, well, at first was to try to accumulate as much bismuth as I could. But, I had an incident with one of my colleagues who loves to well, sometimes she asked me to share my food with her, and it got a little bit out of hand, and at least I thought it got out of hand, and in a moment of weakness, I kind of told her the truth. I was looking at my finances. I really shouldn't be sharing my food, and that's what I said. And to my surprise, she backed down, and then I went home and I realized that this isn't right. I'm talking about somebody I need to network with. We're talking about what amounts to 50 cents a dollar, and I'm going home and I'm pouring $300 worth of business. That's not right. I really should be sharing more. And I went back the following Monday and I apologized to my colleague. And to my surprise, she no longer asked me to share my food with her. I think she understands, but it was just an awkward moment. It was a moment of weakness. I normally don't talk about my finances. It was just a moment of weakness. But I'm glad that it turned out that way. But next time I try something new, I'll definitely uh, uh, let her try some. But it was weird, and I feel badly that it played out this way now. But I'm so glad that I opened up with my boss so that we could still talk and I can get my exercise and all that. It's a good thing it's the turn of the year where this is on people's minds, right? But I'll have to think about what happens next time my students talk a little bit more privilege than is within reach of me, right? How I answer that. I've been just saying that, I'll think about it. Uh, yeah, it's kind of weird. I'll also have to learn that when I become privileged or when I talk to people that are less privileged than me, right? Because those people do exist today as well to watch it, right? When I travel down to Mexico or even Wallace, Idaho, or especially when I go to Poland, right? That's a place where I could run into the other side of the equation. And I'll have to watch it when I talk to those people. So that was not a total loss, right? All right, this is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Feel free to dislike. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Peter Dislike. Peter Dislike. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.